I try to really push my students on their why law. And there's so many times when I talk to students and they're like so set on being a lawyer and they tell me what they want to do and how they want to be a change agent. And I just have to continue to remind them, being a lawyer is fantastic and you can do so much with a JD, but it is not your only method of being a change agent. Sometimes I'm listening to them, I'm like, maybe you really want to get a master's in education. Maybe you really want to, did you even know there were masters of urban planning? There's so many paths sometimes to doing the kind of work that you want to do that people haven't even thought of.
Yeah, and that comes in on the LSAT side as well. Sometimes students will be struggling with motivation and I'll ask them, well, why do you want to go to law school? Can you keep that first and foremost in your mind, to keep the goal in mind? Not only what law school do you want to go to, if you want to put Harvard Law on your phone background or something, but even beyond that, why do you actually want to be an attorney? What do you want to do? And if you don't know the answer to that, and it's more just a vague dream, or if it's for lack of a better option, then it's a lot harder to stay motivated too. So I think knowing your why and having that goal in mind is important for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I wish I had done. I have no regrets, but it would have been really helpful. I say, okay, think of the area that you want to change. And sometimes they can really articulate, I want to change this particular area. Cool. Who are the people that are changing that? Go find the job, the organization, the person that is doing what you want to do. Are they a lawyer? If they are a lawyer, what was their path? If they're not a lawyer, investigate that a little bit, because sometimes I think putting a person or a job or an organization in your mind when you have this idea of what you want to do, seeing what it actually looks like in the real world, and then seeing if that is actually something that you want to do, talking to that person, even emailing them and say, hey, I'd love to talk to you about your career path or your day-to-day job, and then taking that information and being like, oh, well, I thought it was this, but it's really this, and maybe you like this better, but maybe you don't. And those are the conversations that I want students to be having before they, make this 3-year investment.
And that's something I think should be more in the career pipeline all along the spectrum there, from high school to college, to the application process, to being in law school, to becoming an attorney. As you were mentioning other countries, I know that other countries are very big on the apprenticeship model. Mm-hmm. And that's a core portion of it, where I think at least one of those years of law school is replaced with actually apprenticing and learning on the job, learning the practical skills that lawyers actually do, which is great. I think learning by doing is underutilized in the American system and much better used elsewhere.
Yeah.
But also I think
learning by doing is the unpaid internships that only a certain population can afford to do. I had to get a job every summer. I had no time for unpaid internships.
No. Unacceptable to me as well. I was like, I will apply to as many internships as it takes to find one that will pay me for my time. But I think that apprenticeship works to learn by doing, but then you're actually learning what it's like a little bit too late. And maybe you don't like what you'd be doing, and better to learn that sooner rather than later. So if there were a way to establish it where it was valued by law schools to put on your application, I've worked as a paralegal, or I shadowed for a week or a month, and there were formal programs established to make that easier to do, or at least the templates to set that up for yourself were ready-made. So that you could, so people would actually do it, because we could tell people to do it, and some will, some won't. The highly motivated will, but giving people the exact tools and tips and scripts to go out there and make it happen, I think would be enormously useful. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them, and feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.